Alright, this is the speaker out mod for a Pignose 7100. It doesn't really do much other than give you the ability to hook up to any other speaker cabinet, any other speaker, maybe more effects, move more air. Bigger speakers do help this amp gain a lot of headroom, so that's the one benefit there. Otherwise, it's largely unnecessary. There's no switches or anything involved. It uses something called a shunt jack or a switch jack, which means it's automatic based on whether or not there's a plug inserted or not. These are the only wires that you're going to be working with here. You just unplug it and basically fish it out of the electrical sleeve there. You do have to desolder the other ends from the speaker. Don't mount your jack like that on alligator clips. Just put the clip directly through the hole, and this won't happen. Make sure you tin your lugs to make it about 1,000 times easier. Okay, this is the jack that we're using. I'll show you the wiring in a second. This is a switch jack. It has these 3 lugs. There's your tip, your sleeve, and your switch. This is what it looks like from the side. If you can't figure out what lug goes to what, you can see it perfectly from this angle. The wafers separate each metal component. And this is exactly how it works. There's this extra little lug that you see going up here connected to the tip. That allows the electrical signal to act as a pass-through. When there's no plug inserted, the signal goes through the tip, back down through the switch to the other speaker, meaning the second that you actually plug in, it separates those two, and now the signal only goes to the tip and cuts out the other internal speaker. Okay, the wiring for this is extremely simple. These are the exact same colors that are used in the Pignose amp, so you can follow it that way. The hot signals are white, the black signals are ground. If you're looking down on your Switchcraft 12A shunt jack or switch jack, whatever you're going to call it, the hot signal first goes into the tip, which will be all the way on the right. The hot signal then goes from the tip to the center lug, which is the switch, and that lug connects to the hot lug on the speaker within your Pignose amp. All you have to do then is take the ground signal from the amp, connect it to the sleeve of the Switchcraft jack, and then have a jumper that goes from there to the ground signal of the ground lug for the internal speaker of the Pignose. As you can see before, all that happens here, all that changes is if you plug in a jack in order to send the signal to another cabinet, it'll completely shut off the speaker in your amp. If you don't, or if there's no cable plugged in there, then the signal will go right back to the amp. There's no switches involved, it's just basically automatic. Once you have your wires connected, you need to feed them back through the sleeve. Find out they don't fit, and add your own. You're going to start reassembling all of your components here. And this is where we start the actual modifications to the box. All you have to do is remove the old plate. It's a pretty flimsy piece there. You can buy this brass piece on my website. It fits perfectly in there. It also acts as a guide when you're drilling your new hole. And to a certain extent, it's kind of like putting a little tape there. Prevents a little tear out. Now, you are going to have to go in there either with like a Forester bit or some other creative method. I just used the chisel because there is a chisel right there. And kind of reduce the thickness of the area where your jack is going to go. Be really careful when you're using a chisel here. There's a lot of wires, and if you slip, I mean, if you're this far, you know how to solder, so you'll probably be fine. Switch out a resistor or two, see what happens. There's a lot of different Pignose mods. Now it's time to basically just reassemble the entire thing. The only wiring that's left is connecting the wires that go from the shunt jack to the internal speaker. Using a bigger speaker, by the way, really improves the headroom of this amp. You'll hear that in a second. Put the amp cover back on. It's a good idea here to remember exactly what colors you're using. If you see that cut, that's because I forgot and I had to go back and open the amp and see what was connected to what. You also don't have to solder these. If you want to just use the regular clips that are used on almost any other amp and you have them, go for it. And if you want a much more secure connection, solder one. And now you're ready to play.